Lesson 8 focuses on 3 important features and information: the competitor navigation panel, the instant task wizard, and the automation status display. The competitor navigation panel is created dynamically for each report cycle based on the competitors submitted for analysis in that cycle. At the top, you will see the report dates. These are the dates when the system automatically fetched your competitor's data and saved it for future tracking and comparison. It is important to remember that data, reports, and many platform features are handled separately for each report date. This is usually why you may not find an older report while viewing a newer cycle. If that happens, simply open the Report Date drop-down, select the relevant date, and the system will load all reports related to that cycle. Above the competitor list is an interactive title field. Use it to add a short project name or description. This is highly recommended because when you move between report dates, the title helps you quickly understand what that cycle was about. A more advanced best practice is to use interactive hashtags in the title. To create a tag, start with the number sign and do not leave a space. If the tag needs 2 words, use a hyphen or underscore. Most importantly, click Save after every change to the title. Saving also scans for hashtags and activates them in the system. Once a hashtag has been processed, it turns green and becomes clickable. Clicking a live hashtag opens Notes Hub and automatically filters notes that include that tag. If no note exists yet, for example because you just created a new hashtag, an empty note will appear. Then simply add the same tag, including the number sign, exactly as it appears in the title. Notes Hub is global. This means it works across all report dates and all competitors. This is very useful for ongoing projects because it keeps your notes accessible no matter which report cycle you are currently viewing. That is also why it is a strong practice to add a hashtag to the title and then expand the project details inside Notes Hub. Later, when you return to older report dates and the short title is not enough to remind you what the project was about, click the tag, load the related notes, and the full context will be there. Next are the competitors themselves. Each competitor is assigned a letter, usually based on the order in which their data was fetched, starting with A. These letters are used in agency-grade features as an index to identify competitors. In each new cycle, competitors are assigned a new set of letters. Sometimes a competitor may keep the same letter, but it may also receive a different one. You can also reorder competitors and click Save. This only affects the navigation order for that specific report cycle. This is useful in many ways. For example, you can group competitors by why you selected them, such as competitors stronger on a certain search query in one section and competitors competing mainly on price in another. Another way to organize them is with the drop-down on the right, where you can assign competitors to groups. You can create up to 9 groups by giving shared competitors the same number, such as Group 1, Group 2, and so on. A second use for these numbers is priority. For example, the competitors you want to optimize against first can be marked as number 1. This is where titles and live hashtags become very useful. You can add a quick label in the title, such as 1-24H or 2 price, or better yet create a project hashtag, then explain in the note how you group the competitors and what the numbers mean. In many cases, you will only know the final groups, the most relevant competitors, or the main focus competitors after you have reviewed the data more deeply. That is not a problem. You can update competitor group numbers and reorder them at any time as your analysis develops. Now let's move to the Instant Task Wizard, found at the top in the Quick Data line. For almost every analysis, the system's core competitor data depends on the advanced AI logic-driven competitor gap analysis. This means that for each competitor you want to close gaps against, that process must be completed first. This is also required before using the Project Management Interactive Tasks and Opportunities Manager. Of course, it is good practice to review the Content Gaps Opportunities report before moving into project management and the more advanced agency-grade analysis. However, one of our main goals is saving time, and that is the purpose of the Instant Task Wizard. Once you are in the current report date and select the competitor you want to move forward with, you can use Instant Task Wizard to skip reviewing the full content gap analysis for now. Click it, and the system will run the process in the background. When it is complete, it will automatically load project management based on that gap analysis, where you can review topics and opportunities and mark the ones that need your attention. The process it runs is the fits-all commercial services angle analysis. Once completed, you can even skip project management for the moment. Repeat this for all competitors in the group you are currently working on, and then move directly into the deeper agency-grade features while already having the required processing completed. Instant Task Wizard is also useful when you're already working deep inside agency grade and suddenly need to add another competitor into the analysis. Just select that competitor, run Instant Task Wizard, and continue with the workflow you are already on. As you know, competitors are always changing. While you work to outrank them, they are doing the same. This makes optimization a continuous process. On top of that, you also need to satisfy user intent better than the competition. Even after you outrank them, you still need to convince the user to stay with your offer. That is why staying on top of this continuously is no longer optional. To help with that, the dashboard includes your cycle monitor. There, you can see when your last billing cycle started. Under that line is a quick reminder showing how many days remain in the safe update period, along with a quick link to the automated competitors process manager. In that manager, under Competitors in Progress for next report, you will see the list of competitors scheduled for automated processing in the upcoming cycle. If that list already matches all the competitors you want to track, then everything is set and no action is needed. In some cases, after analyzing the current cycle, you may decide that some competitors are no longer relevant, or you may have run more AI visibility and competitor finding processes and discovered new competitors. In that case, use the manager to remove old competitors, add new ones, and submit your updated competition list for the next cycle. While you are still within the safe zone, this can be updated as many times as needed. After the safe zone has passed, updates may still be possible, but that depends on the system's global scheduling. The status graphic bar includes black, purple, and blue dots. The black dot crossed by a vertical line marks today. The purple dot marks the last safe date to submit updates, and this is also shown in the top left under the bar. The blue dot marks your next pending processing date, shown in the index under the bar on the right as next subscription cycle. The orange dashed area marks the period when competitor submission or removal may become blocked. If the need is urgent, you can try, but it will likely be blocked. The green area, labeled below on the right as next scrape and processing date, marks the likely period when the new report will become available, depending on the system's internal processing schedule. This completes Lesson 8, Overview of Features, Navigation, Instant Task Wizard, and the Automation Monitor.